Good evening, groovy citizens, and happy winning Wednesday. So this video is being done at 7 p.m. and to be quite honest with you, I've had to find the energy all day to get it done because, as you can see, probably my face tells it all, that I just really do not feel good. My sinuses have been acting up, and you know how you take medicine to clear up your issues. The medicine just makes me drowsy and just make me feel like I just have no energy. So I said, you know what, I'm not gonna do this video today, to heck with it. But then that little voice said, no, Michelle, do the video anyway, because you never know who needs to hear it. So here I am. Hopefully you all have had a wonderful day. Like I said, other than feeling drained and tired all day, my day was actually good. So let's jump into today's topic, which is reasons why we should forgive. Now, I'm going to say this. Forgiveness can be really difficult. Forgiveness is not quite as easy as one would think. It really isn't. And it depends on what it is that someone did to you. That determines how hard it is to forgive. So, it's been said that it's hard to imagine there are benefits of forgiving someone. Forgiving someone that hasn't even apologized or admitted guilt on their part. Do you know, I don't know about you all, but it is so hard for me to forgive someone who hasn't even acknowledged that they did something, and they haven't even apologized for what they've done. And I'm thinking, Lord, but you want me to forgive? And I have a story I'm going to share with you all as we go on. So this quote says, not forgiving someone is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. And that quote is unknown. So what is forgiveness? Forgiveness is an action or a choice to release an offender from our punishment and entrust it all to God. The dictionary defines forgiveness as debt cancellation. Forgiveness is also unconditional. So here are the benefits of forgiveness. I have 7 points to share with you, then I'll let you be. Number 1, freedom. So when we forgive people, we carry around a heavy burden that stays, when we don't forgive people, we carry around a heavy burden that stays with us, and it will beat us down over time. The weight of unforgiveness continues to hurt us more than the person that we choose not to forgive. Now, I said I had a quick story to share with you all. Years ago, I dated this guy. Things just didn't work out. He was cheating. Let's just put it out there. And I was so hurt. I had never, ever, ever been cheated on that I knew of anyway. And so I was so hurt by that I just chose not to forgive him. And so next thing I knew, I was like in year 5, year 6, I guess. And I'm thinking to myself, if his name came up anywhere, just the name period, honey, I'm trying to tell you, it would set off something inside of me that just made me want to go off. And then one day I said, you know what, Michelle, you've got to forgive him. You're forgiving him, not for him, but for you. Because you're walking around with this built up anger. And chances are he's moved on with his life. He's not thinking about you or the situation. So why are you walking around thinking about it? Let it go. And immediately, once I decided that I forgave him, I just felt like the weight of the world had just fell off my shoulders. I felt so much better. And so that's why I say, when you choose to forgive someone, it makes you feel better. Always remember that forgiving someone is not about them. It's not releasing them from anything. It's releasing you from being weighted down with that burden of not forgiving someone. Number 2, improve health. Research shows that better mental health is a huge benefit of forgiveness. Stress levels tend to drop, and there is a reduction in anxiety and depression. Number 3, better mental health. The most important part of the study or research showed an increase likelihood of post-traumatic stress disorder as long as they hung on to the grudges. Again, if you are holding on to a grudge, doesn't matter how big or small it is, it doesn't even matter who it's with, I need you to decide right now that you are going to let it go, because all you're doing is hurting yourself. You're not hurting that other person. Because again, that chances are that person's not even thinking about you at all. So let it go so that you can move on with a clear head and a clear conscience. Number 4, better relationships. So forgiveness is an important skill set in this broken world. The better we are at forgiving others, the better our relationships will become. So that's just like if you're in a relationship with someone and they cheat or whatever happens that kind of throws your relationship off, and they forgive you. And they said, look, I messed up. I apologize. I want this relationship to work. You can walk around holding a grudge, not forgiving them. But at the end of the day, you're the one that's mad, because eventually they're going to say, okay, well, you know, I tried. I messed up. I apologize. They don't want the relationship anymore, so I'm just going to move on. And you're still walking around here holding that grudge, and they've moved on with someone else. So I need you all to just let go and forgive. Now, let me tell you what I'm not saying. I'm not saying forget. I did not say that. Now, there are some people that would say, if you're going to forgive someone, then you should forget that whatever that thing was happened. Not for me. Not for me. I can forgive you, but I won't forget how you made me feel. I won't forget how you messed up that relationship. I just won't forget that. Again, I'm not walking around with it in the forefront of my mind, but I'm not going to forget about it either. See, because here's what happens. When you forgive someone and you choose to forget what they did, you'll end up back in that same situation again if you're not careful. Remembering allows us to not travel down the same path again. So if you know that driving down A Street has a huge pothole that spans the whole width of the street, you go through that pothole once, chances are you're not going to do it again, because you already know that A Street has that huge pothole in it. So you're going to go around to maybe B Street or C Street to get to the end of A Street, because you know that pothole is there. So you're not going to keep making the same mistake of driving through it. That's why I said it's all right to not forget. And you make me feel a certain way, I can forgive you and we can move on, but I'm not going to forget. Because see, now I have to treat you a little differently. I told you all before, I love everybody with the love of Christ. I truly do, because forgiveness is unconditional. However, I can't forget. Now, again, some people may not agree with me on that, and that's your right to do that. But for me, I just choose not to forget, so I don't go down that path again. So, number 5, healing. Healing can't come without forgiveness first. It's impossible to heal while holding on to bitterness and resentment. And again, as I shared with you on the beginning about this relationship that I had, I realized that I couldn't heal from that breakup because I refused to forgive him. And all it was doing was tearing Michelle down. It wasn't tearing him down. So again, it's impossible to heal while holding on to bitterness and resentment. Number 6, we get to live in the present. So Isaiah 43:18 says, forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. Unforgiveness keeps our mind set on the past, and living in the past robs us of the joy of the present. As long as you live in the past, you miss out on the present blessings. Y'all, I'm trying to tell you, I have been down that road. So when I tell you this, trust me, I speak from experience. You do. If I forgive you because you did something to me or you said something about me, I can now completely live in the present, because my mind's not focusing on what you did last year or what you said last year. I'm living in the here and now. I've forgiven you. I've moved on. You're doing you. I'm doing me. Because the other thing that I didn't share with you is I'm one of these people. For me, forgiveness does not mean reunion. Meaning that I can forgive you, but that doesn't mean I want to now start hanging out with you. Because what you did was some shady stuff. And now I don't trust you. I forgive you for what you did, but I don't trust you anymore. And if I don't trust you, and we don't have trust, we don't have anything. So what's the point of me hanging out with you? I just wanted to throw that in because I've forgotten. But yeah, so just remember that healing cannot come without forgiveness first. You have to forgive first in order to heal and move on. Number 6, oh, no, I'm sorry. I was talking about we get to live in the present. So again, if you're living in the past, let's say your ex-spouse who cheated on you 20 years ago, it's hard for you to live in the present, find a new love interest, and hopefully settle down and get married, because you're still living in the past about what somebody did to you 20 years ago. And I'm pretty sure it did hurt and it didn't feel good. And I'm not saying that you should tell yourself that it did, because you'd be lying to yourself. It didn't feel good, but you've got to forgive them. Forgive them. This is what I do, okay? And this is just me. I forgive people. I say, Lord, I forgive, and you insert the name for what they've done, and I'm just going to let you handle it. Simple as that. That way it frees me up. I give it to God, and I can go about my business. That way I'm living right now. I'm not living 20 years ago what that person did, because that's old news. I'm living in the here and now. And number 7, you will receive blessings. So God is the author and the creator of all things, and he is love. So choosing God's blessings is a huge and most important benefit of forgiveness. If God can forgive us, then we can forgive others. And we're going to wrap this up on that note. You know, it's interesting how we ask God to forgive us when we don't do right, but we can't forgive other people. Isn't that interesting? So don't you think God is sitting high, looking low, saying, now, wait a minute. Michelle's asking for forgiveness for whatever, but she had an opportunity to forgive Tootie, whoever Tootie is, last week, and she neglected to do that. So I want to encourage you not to cut off your nose to spite your face, as the old saying goes. You've got to forgive others if you expect God to forgive you. Because just like you don't want to forgive others, God may say, well, I'm not going to forgive you since you can't forgive other people. I don't know about you all, but I need God's forgiveness. I'm not perfect in any way, shape, or form. I mess up daily. I say things that I shouldn't say. I probably do things that I shouldn't do. But I know that well, God already knew that I was going to do those things anyway. But I want God to forgive me. Therefore, I'm able to forgive others. Again, I didn't say I want a reunion with them, I want to hang out with them, or I'm going to forget what they did. No, not doing that. I'm going to remember that, because see, now I know that I can't trust you. I forgive you, but I can't trust you. And as God is my witness, if you called me and you needed something and I can help you, I'm going to be there to help you. But I still just don't trust you. So I don't want to hang out with you. I don't want to share what's going on in my life with you. But I'll continue to pray for you. Keep your name lifted up in my prayers as I pray for all my family and friends, both far and near. But I just don't want that reunion with you. And I'm all right with it. See, because I've forgiven you, so I can go on with my life. It's not hindering me that I don't want to hang out with you. That may be bothering you, but it's not bothering me at all. So listen, you guys, that's it. That's all I have. Today I talked about reasons why we should forgive. And like I said in the very beginning, I get it. It's hard to forgive people when they've wronged us, when they've hurt us, when they've disappointed us. But you have to forgive them for you. It's not about them. And that doesn't mean that you have to go and call Susie up and say, hey, Susie, this Shell, you know what? I just want to let you know I forgive you. No, you don't have to do all of that. You just, sit down in your quiet time and you say, Lord, I forgive Susie for whatever it was she did or didn't do. And you let it go. That's it. That's all. Just let it go and live a happy life. Listen, if this is your first time watching one of my videos, I want to say welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button, tap that bell so you don't miss anything. I do car conversations. Why? Because as you can see, I'm in the car. And so I do them every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. If this is not your first rodeo, I want to say welcome back. So glad to have you all back again. Y'all know I miss you and I don't get a chance to see you. Go out there, enjoy the rest of your Thursday. I hope you all had a wonderful 4th of July as well. But go out there, enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Me personally, I'm going to upload this video because right now it's 87 degrees and we had some horrible rain a few hours ago. So it's cooled off just a little bit, but so it's not as muggy as it was earlier, but it's 87 degrees. I'm going here, upload this video. While I was doing that, I'm going to fix me a bowl of cereal. Don't judge me because I don't judge you. That's all I have the energy to make today. Take my last seizure medication, take me something for drying up my sinus drainage, and then I'm going to get my happy behind on in the bed. I love you all to the moon and back, and there's nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing that you could ever do about it to change it. Love you all, and we will talk again on Friday. Until then, take care.